You caught up though?
Man, somebody went bad on me on the case.
Really?
Yeah, somebody went bad on me. He ended up on the set. That nigga got caught at the scene, went bad.
Really?
They came and snatched the nigga up.
Somebody that you would have thought was solid and would always have your back?
Yep.
Welcome back to another episode of Fame Wounds. The internet's been buzzing lately because multiple news outlets are reporting that rising LA rapper Young Threat is currently locked up again. But honestly, this isn't new for him. Young Threat's story has always been tied to his neighborhood and the rough upbringing that shaped who he became today. Growing up in South Central wasn't easy for him at all. His childhood was full of chaos, especially since both of his parents spent time away dealing with legal troubles, missing a lot of major moments in his life. Most of his family was connected to the same local crew, the Hoovers, one of the most recognized sets in that part of Los Angeles. Surrounded by that lifestyle, Young Threat felt like the streets were his only path, even if deep down, his family hoped he'd stay away from it.
I mean, yeah, shit, yeah, hell yeah. From what the nigga was talking, shit, hell yeah.
Right.
On the real.
And so then you fucking just got totally screwed. How long did you go away for?
I did 2 years, 85.
Okay.
85%, so I ended up doing like 16 months, turnaround trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? And you hadn't done much time in like local jail type shit, or that was your main introduction to that?
I was always in and out. You feel me? I was always in and out. Juvenile, I was in and out. And then when I did go to the county, I had bailed out. So I never had really did no time. That was like my first time ever doing like some time type shit, so.
Right.
The Hoovers area had a reputation. It was known for poverty, constant tension, and tough living conditions. Growing up there meant you had to mature fast, always watching your surroundings just to make it through each day. It was survival mode 24/7. Even though his relatives didn't want him to follow in their footsteps, the pull of the streets was strong, and by around age 14 or 15, he made that life-changing choice to get involved. At first, it all seemed exciting, hanging with older members, chilling, partying, smoking, and feeling like he finally belonged somewhere. But as time went on, things started to get serious, and the carefree fun faded away fast. Arguments, run-ins with the law, and losing close friends to street life became part of the reality. Anyone deeply involved in that world knows it's a hard and unpredictable road. Young Threat earned a name for himself early on.
I was listening to music and you said something about losing your brother at one point.
Oh, yeah, man.
What age did that happen at?
Man, that happened while I was in prison.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not too long ago.
So you had to deal with that loss while you were in there and not able to really be able to deal with it, or what?
Yeah, like, me personally, yeah, I feel like I ain't even really like mourn over that shit, right, by being in prison. So I still got a lot of it, like, inside of me.
Really?
I'm sad.
Damn.
As a teen, he became known for being bold, getting into fights, and staying active in the mix. But even with all that chaos around him, he still had other dreams. He played football in high school out in Hemet and had real potential as a cornerback and running back. He dreamed of going far with the sport, and for a while, it looked like things might actually work out. During that time, he also started developing a passion for music. He was dating someone who came from a family full of rappers, people like Spank and Ty James, and she even made music herself. That connection lit a spark in him, and by April 2018, he began his rap journey under the name Spank Nitty. Everything was looking up, until he got caught up in a bad situation. During his senior year of high school, Young Threat got involved in a robbery case. Even though he wasn't caught right away, someone who was part of it with him later told on him, and he ended up getting arrested at school. He spent some time away, but used that moment to start writing music seriously behind bars. That's where his focus on music truly began.
So you just like are in there, just basically like not having anywhere. Like normally at least you get to like go to their fucking wake and, you know, have some kind of closure, but you didn't even get to experience that?
Yeah.
Damn.
Like late nights though, nigga had his talks type deal, bro, but I ain't get to like experience no funerals and like really say my last goodbyes on Hoover.
Damn, that's rough.
By 2019, he was back out and ready to chase his dreams for real. He teamed up with Spank Nitty James, dropping songs that would start making noise online. That same year was massive for him. His track, Who Gonna Slide, blew up with over 2.5 million views, while other songs like Cujo and Altercations racked up over 1 million each. The attention was rolling in, and his name was spreading fast. But 2019 brought another setback. Young Threat got arrested again for another robbery case, though he managed to make bail. Still, he didn't let that stop him. That November, he released his very first mixtape, Chuck's L.A., showing everyone he was serious about turning his street stories into music. His journey had only just begun, and the world was starting to take notice. In 2020, Young Threat came out swinging with his track Hit Different, which dropped that January and quickly pulled in over 1.3 million views. Fans were hyped, but that same month,
There's a school right across the street. That's the time generally that the school is letting out the senselessness and the callousness of where they did it and when they.
things took a turn once again when he got caught up in another robbery case. He ended up spending about 16 months locked up for it. While he was inside, he suffered a major heartbreak. Someone he saw as an older brother figure, known as Mad A-Tray Soldier, lost his life in a tragic incident on May 6, 2020. That loss hit both Young Threat and the A-Tray Hoovers hard. When Young Threat got out in 2021, he wasted no time jumping back into music. He dropped I'm Back, along with a bunch of new tracks that reminded everyone he was still hungry for success. Around that time, another rapper from the same set, Treyway 6, was starting to make noise too. The two teamed up and released several collabs that racked up hundreds of thousands of views, putting their section right back in the spotlight. But that year wasn't smooth sailing either. Young Threat got caught up in more legal trouble, facing multiple robbery charges, a firearm possession case, and even a suspended license situation. All of this caused another pause in his career, trapping him in that frustrating cycle of progress and setbacks. Still, he refused to quit.
Herb Easy at the dispensary. Don't know what type of technicality's going on, but everything is taped off. It appears.
Even with everything going on, 2022 became one of his most consistent years ever. He dropped over 10 music videos and jumped on features with other rising artists, showing his grind wasn't stopping for anyone. By the end of 2022, he dropped a tape called Still in the Trenches, showing that he was still repping where he came from and telling his story through his music. Moving into 2023, he kept the same energy, releasing new songs nonstop. That summer, he dropped another tape titled It Was Never Going to Be Easy, which spoke volumes about his journey. But just as he started picking up more momentum, he got caught in another situation, an assault case involving a firearm. Thankfully, he was released before the year ended and came right back with I'm Back Part 2, closing out 2023 with a statement. Then came 2024, and it looked like Young Threat was finally locking in for real. He dropped 3 full tapes in 1 year, South Central Baby, 83 Ways Out, and It Gets Greater Later. His work ethic was crazy, and it paid off big time when he landed the biggest look of his entire career, a feature on Kendrick Lamar's critically acclaimed album GNX on the title track itself. That moment gave Young Threat the national spotlight he had been grinding for all these years, proving he could stand shoulder to shoulder with the biggest names in rap. But even with that massive opportunity, personal struggles started weighing him down. Many thought he'd skyrocket after the Kendrick feature, but he didn't capitalize on it the way people expected. In 2025, he released a tape called Reincarnated, but after April of that year, things got quiet. Fans didn't hear much from him.
I'm just saying, it might be 2 men, black, in a 4-door black car with stock rims, possibly a Nissan or a Honda. They pulled up, they parked right there, got off, went into there, shots rang off by maybe 8, 9 shots rang off. That's all it was, really.
Then by August 2025, tragedy shook his entire community. 2 separate violent incidents in South Central left over 15 people injured and 3 lives lost. The first happened at a neighborhood event celebrating the A-Tray Hoover's Hood Day. The second took place just days later, when several Hoovers were hanging outside a liquor store in their area and another group drove up and started shooting. The chaos didn't stop there. Just a few months later, a 15-year-old from the A-Tray Hoovers lost his life after leaving a party. These back-to-back incidents left the community heartbroken and drained, forcing a lot of people, including Young Threat, to step back and process the pain. But heartbreak struck again only a few weeks later. This time, it wasn't a Hoover member involved. Another well-known artist, YCA 80 Bands, who was from one of their biggest rival crews, the Main Street Crips, was tragically taken in another violent situation. These events shook the city once again, showing how deeply rooted tension in the area continued to affect everyone around it, even those trying to move forward with their music careers. After the passing of YCA 80 Bands, rumors spread fast across Los Angeles. Since the incident happened right in Hoover territory, many online started speculating that the Hoovers had something to do with it, especially since it happened in broad daylight. Social media lit up with theories, and people were convinced that someone would eventually get caught for it. Then, just a few months later, shocking news began circulating again. Reports came out saying that Young Threat was sitting in county jail with a $4 million bond. That's an extremely high amount, and naturally, everyone started connecting the dots. Soon after, official court records surfaced showing that he was facing serious charges, including an accusation related to taking someone's life. What made it even more jaw-dropping was that the reported date of the alleged incident matched the same day YCA 80 Bands lost his life. If that's really true, it's a heartbreaking twist for someone who was finally breaking into the mainstream spotlight. After everything he'd been through, years of hard work, consistency, and finally getting a taste of real fame, it looked like his career could be in serious jeopardy. Still, as it stands, he's innocent until proven guilty, and his case might take a long time to unfold before any final decision is made. As the story continues to unfold, the future of Young Threat remains uncertain, but the impact of his journey can't be ignored. From his early days grinding in South Central to landing a feature on one of the biggest albums of the decade, his story is a mix of raw talent, struggle, and the heavy weight of street life that never fully let him go. The community that once lifted him up is now split between heartbreak and disbelief, wondering how someone with so much potential could end up facing one of the most serious accusations imaginable. Since the news broke about his $4 million bond, the internet has been going wild with opinions and debates. Some fans are standing behind him, saying he's being targeted because of his past and the area he's from. Others believe there's more to the story that still hasn't come out. What everyone can agree on, though, is that this situation is tragic all around, for both sides and for the city that's already seen too much pain. The energy online has been intense, with people dissecting every detail, every lyric, and every post, trying to figure out what really happened that day. Even from behind bars, Young Threat's name keeps trending. Supporters have been replaying his older songs, streaming his mixtapes, and posting clips of him performing, reminding everyone of the spark that once made him one of LA's most promising young voices. His lyrics hit differently now, with fans pointing out how much of his music reflected the very struggles he ended up living through. Tracks like It Gets Greater Later and Still in the Trenches feel almost prophetic, as if he was speaking his truth before the storm even hit. People close to him have stayed quiet for the most part, only dropping vague messages online, phrases like "free the real" and "he'll be home soon." But no one's given any official updates. It's clear that everyone's waiting to see how the case plays out. Legal experts say it could take months, maybe even years before there's a final verdict. Until then, Young Threat's career is on hold, hanging in the balance between what was and what could have been. This whole saga is a harsh reminder of how fast things can change in the industry and in life. One moment you're riding a wave of success, and the next, everything you worked for is at risk. No matter how this case turns out, Young Threat's story is already a major piece of LA rap history. It's a story about fame, loyalty, and the thin line between making it out and getting pulled back in. His journey shows just how complicated it can be to escape your environment when the streets have been part of your life since day one. We'll keep watching closely to see what happens next, because this story is far from over. Whether he beats the case or not, Young Threat's name will be remembered, either as a cautionary tale or as a comeback story waiting to be written. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into hip-hop's most shocking and talked about stories. See you in the next video.